Hello and welcome everyone to the Pantsless Podcast. My name is Tumalo. With me here today we got Gradigi.
Hello.
We got Trev Dog.
Yes.
And for a round of applause for our returning champion, Northern Savan.
My king.
Let's go. It feels good to be back.
Yeah, I simp for North.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome back, North. It's been a while.
Thank you.
Me and North, we send each other like sexy DMs, like, you know, in Discord and stuff. But I haven't heard North's voice in a long time, so it's nice.
Yeah, it's definitely been a while.
Hopefully hopefully the audio levels are good. Chat, you know your job. Tell me if it's not. I want to jump straight into it. I got surprised 2 days ago. There's this dude called Kaplan. He streams Tarkov. And he posted on Twitter like this thing. Like, what the fuck? Have you guys like gone to YouTube and searched naked yoga? And I'm like,
not yet.
Yeah, I'm like, no, I have not.
Very soon.
So off I went to YouTube and I searched naked yoga. No joke. Full fucking frontal nudity. I cannot show any of it, by the way. So don't beg.
I just saw it.
So here's the thing. That's when I got surprised. But then I started thinking, maybe I shouldn't be that surprised. It's YouTube. It's the largest platform for video sharing on this planet, you know, but then I'm like, well, these couple million views, like from a couple years ago, and then I'm like, well, maybe it's educational. And, you know, I didn't stick to watch too many of those videos, so I'm like, okay.
Yeah, only 5 or 6.
Yeah, that means you watched at least more than one.
So then I went back to Twitter, and I checked the comments on Cotton's tweet because I was curious. Most of them were in the line of like, what the fuck, how is this allowed, yada yada, and I'm like, okay. And then I found one comment. Wait until you guys go to YouTube and you search for anal bleaching.
I'm good. I did the first one.
And then I went back to YouTube, did my little clicky clacking. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
Full ass and bleached anus.
Nice.
Wowie.
And at that point, I'm like, fuck it. Might as well.
That's probably the reason why they have YouTube for kids.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of that stuff snuck in there. I've heard what's on YouTube for kids.
Because like in my head, I'm like, well, YouTube is like, you know, known for years that, you know, there's been, you know, extremist videos, beheadings, or, you know, whatnot, you know, Nazi propaganda, whatever, and those videos do get banned and, you know, picked off and whatever. But like anal bleaching and naked yoga, apparently
Those are cool.
You know, there's like multiple videos.
You got to show those in health class for middle schoolers.
Yeah,
So they stay on YouTube.
so they can bleach their butt in high school
Yes.
Exactly.
safely.
Thanks for aggravating my cough, by the way, when I searched up naked yoga on YouTube, and
No worries, man.
No, you're good.
It's informational. It's educational. Everybody
is.
needs to know. I can almost understand naked yoga. Almost. I can't, but almost. The bleached butthole, I do not get. I don't know how that's allowed.
Because it was done in a very like kind of tutorial kind of way how to do it.
Yeah, like
Maybe-
why?
oh,
why
so
would you
it
need to do it?
is actually a walkthrough on how to bleach your butthole then.
Yeah. There's
so
a
it is educational. I got it.
there's a chick laying on a table, and then there's like another chick that seems to know what she's doing, and she's like, okay, now we're gonna bleach your butthole. And then she starts bleaching her butthole, and I'm like, okay. And then when it's done, the camera pans like straight straight to her asshole and the JJ, and you see it like it's right there in your face. And I'm like, yep, that's a bleached anus.
I don't like Google. I googled why you would bleach because I didn't know. Makes your skin lighter down there. Good for you. But the people also ask section scares me. Where the first one says, "Is bleaching your bum bad?" Okay. Second one, can you bleach your anus with Clorox? And then just no.
Well, at least they didn't leave anything up to
Oh, with
interpretation.
Clorox wipes. Never mind. That's worse.
I just wipe my butt with Clorox wipes and bleach it at the same time.
That's a wombo combo right there.
See,
Appreciate it.
chat,
2 birds.
you learn so much new things here on this podcast.
Lord.
That was my YouTube escapades from a couple days ago.
Solid.
Yeah.
Clorox wipes.
You find weird stuff on YouTube. I love going on YouTube and typing in, just smashing my keyboard, and then you'll find random videos just, out of curiosity's sake. And I always feel bad when you get like a 5-year-old that's just filming like them playing with toys on a camera. I'm like, I feel like I'm not supposed to be here. Like, why is it on the internet? Like, I feel like it's like a home video that a parent should have, but it's on YouTube with 100,000 views.
So if you ever want to find those type of videos, I know you just said you felt like you shouldn't be there. Just search for .mov, because there's a lot of old cameras that automatically tack that on to like the name whenever you upload it to YouTube. And so there's a lot of I haven't done it myself, but I've saw articles where people did that, where they'll just search like .mov, because that's the format that it'll upload it in, and it'll automatically tax it on.
Well, don't just do .mov, because the first 7 videos are My Little Pony. But
I knew.
Okay.
I wanted you to look up My Little Pony. Your search results are
getting me
tainted for
today.
the rest of your days. Your front page is nothing but ponies.
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm scared to like actually try to even look up anything on YouTube, because it will stay on my front page for weeks.
Yeah.
Just gonna watch more videos.
I don't want
man.
that.
Too funny.
Yeah, I mean, YouTube is, the platform's just so huge, and I mean, the yoga videos, for instance, they were like age restricted, obviously. And I mean, if you're watching on YouTube, these videos are age restricted too, because YouTube forces me to choose if these are for kids or not. These are definitely not for kids.
Not for kids. Bleached buttholes.
Yes, bleach buttholes.
You're telling me you don't want your kid to know how to do that, just in case. You don't want him to do it with Clorox wipes. I'll tell you that.
True. Maybe they do need to know. Maybe they need to know not to use Clorox.
They don't need to do it. They just need to be aware of like.
It's an option when you get older.
Yeah.
Yeah, but kids do stupid things, so gotta teach the kids.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyway, like there does not exist anything that I could segue to, like.
No, there's no way to get out of that.
There's nothing.
I'll help you. The about section on our channel says we talk about games in the game industry. And I'm pretty sure that the first 20 minutes of this is not.
I mean,
Well, no, wait. Because it was a tweet from a dude that played Tarkov.
It was from a Tarkov stream. Yep, we're back. We're good.
There we go.
exactly.
Yep.
In other news, definitely not the games industry or anything, but the Olympic Committee has finally, for the first time ever, allowed video games to be part of the Olympic Games. Kinda, sorta. So,
That's interesting.
what this actually is, and this is the thing that I speed read before we went live. So there's going to be an Olympic virtual series, and what this will actually be is not video games, but rather like simulations of sports.
Kind of like golf, where they have you hit it at the projector.
Yeah, so like I honestly the only game, there's actually two games, but one game that I can show everyone. I have actually no idea which way this goes. Oh, it goes to the right screen. Good. So this is one of the games. This is a Konami game of baseball. This is how it looks. I copied the name of the game straight from the website.
I've seen this.
So this is
What is
apparently
this, like a Wii game?
I have no idea. But this is apparently going to be one of these games that is going to be like an Olympic event these days.
Yeah, like MLB The Show just came out, and then they looked at that and they're like, "No, we'll do this. I think this is the better option."
Yeah, I have no idea. Like, this shit is weird. But one the other game that is an actual game is that Gran Turismo is going to be part of this too.
Cool.
That I can
yeah,
understand.
that's cool.
I want to know who saw that first one. I was like, you know what? People want to play this game competitively.
Yes, somebody had that thought, and then it had to go up in the chain, so they had to tell higher up, and then they got yeses every single time. It was like
someone should like no one at some point was like, yeah, but what about like League of Legends? That's the biggest competitive game on the planet that people make millions of dollars for and could be considered Olympic level competition. Oh no, this Konami game.
That definitely reminded me of the Wii game where you actually play baseball.
Oh, just Wii
just
Sports.
like that.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
just like that.
Because there's also gonna be like cycling, rowing, and sailing. And when I went down here, like the partners, so the cycling will be it's a game called Swift, like Swift, but with not an S, but with a Z, from like Zwift Inc. Never heard of that company. The rowing is open format. I have no idea what that means. World sailing is gonna be virtual regatta from a company called Virtual Regatta SAS, and the FIA, so the Federation Internationale del Automobile, which is the governing body for motorsports. They're gonna like do the Gran Turismo thing. But yeah, these are
this seems real dumb.
yeah,
yeah,
honestly, yeah.
like I guess they just wanted to do real sports as
That's
of,
what
like
it
because
sounds
like
like.
you could pick like if you want to do like pseudo sports like Rocket League, I think definitely hits that category, or like something like that. But they were just like, no, it's just simulated, which I've never understood. I remember when quarantine first hit, ESPN would air like Madden tournaments, like big Madden tournaments and stuff, and like 2K NBA tournaments on ESPN, which is fine. Like quarantine hit, people wanted to watch baseball and football, but so like that, I get it, but I don't understand if you're gonna have like, because they're gonna have baseball at the Olympics too, right? I didn't hear if they changed anything about it, but baseball is usually at the Olympics, stuff like that. So I don't understand why you're also putting these virtual versions out there.
Yeah, it feels very pandering to me. It's like, well, yeah, we want to make all these nerds feel included, but not that included. We only want the nerds that picked on other nerds. That's who we want.
Because to even reinforce what you just said, Joe, this is not even gonna be at the Olympics. It's gonna be a separate event before the Olympics.
Oh,
Yeah, that's pandering. That's all.
And
It is.
like
It's to make people feel good.
Yeah, and what to me what pisses me mostly off is that there are like video games, like StarCraft has been trying to get themselves into the Olympics for years. And I would personally champion StarCraft into the Olympics because one, it's an individual game, so one-on-one, so you don't have to have a team. And you know, it would be so easy to have like people from countries represent themselves, and like for StarCraft. Like a game like, you know, Dota League or Counter-Strike, where a lot of the top teams in the world have international rosters, and when they already have such a busy schedule when they, you know, do tournaments, those teams are not going to let their players, you know, go have a separate like national team. Like no way. But StarCraft, it would be easy to do it because everyone just plays by themselves.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool to see as actual video. It's like they were like, you know what would get a lot of viewership? Video game Olympics. All right, who are we going to consult for this? Nobody. Because like I think that would be incredible to see. You know, you whenever, because they are digital and you can do everything over the internet, you do see a lot of, like you said, international teams, and you see teams from all over the world. But to get the very best, not just teams that made it there, which are still incredibly good, you know, esportsmen, but to see like the one guy that the US picks as their best StarCraft player going against the one guy that South Korea picks as their best StarCraft player, that would be intense. Like that kind of stuff would be, that would bring people in, because it's not like, well, this team made it here and this team made it there, and you know they couldn't do this. It's like, no, this is literally the best of the best. And to ruin that with these BS pseudo games is infuriating.
Well, why didn't they pick like a real esport game like farming simulator? Because we talked about it.
I would watch that.
Why not that one? It's good as any esport game. Why not?
Better,
Yeah,
probably
'cause-
better than that baseball game.
Yeah.
I literally think, and this is complete like tinfoil hat stuff at this point for me, but I believe that the people that work for the Olympic Committee, they're 1,000 years old. Those people, they don't know what StarCraft is or Farming Simulator. They don't know what Counter-Strike is. They know that, oh, these professional athletes, they use like virtual games to train. So why don't we have this, like, we just convert that into like our games?
Yeah.
Because even with the racing thing, what pisses me off, they picked Gran Turismo, which is visually looking like super nice, but there's already another racing game that is a more simulator than Gran Turismo. It's called iRacing, where
Oh yeah.
there's virtually almost no difference between real racing and iRacing. I mean, there is, but you know, you can't die in iRacing.
NASCAR, whenever you mentioned the stuff from Trev from other sports doing that digital stuff, iRacing, NASCAR actually did iRacing races. They had
I forgot about that.
Yeah, they actually had like their best of the best suit up and get in the iRacing stuff, and it was apparently, I have a few friends that do watch NASCAR, and apparently it was actually pretty sick.
Yeah, because we ran like we had like a national iRacing league here in Finland. The only reason I know this because we offered bets for those. Yeah, what Rosa is saying, iRacing is closer to reality, but Gran Turismo is a touch more popular. I understand that, and it doesn't require a monthly fee. Yeah, I understand that, but the point here is that the people who watch the Olympic Games are not necessarily the people who participate in those sports in the first place. If you're gonna watch a racing event on the Olympic, like on TV for the Olympics, I would rather have the one that is grounded more in reality than the one that looks prettier. And like the monthly fee for athletes, nobody gives a shit.
What I'm scared of is they're gonna do, you know, it's like an Olympic pre-event, so like that already cuts your audience down, and then on top of that, it's like games that kind of nobody, like even the gaming people, I'm not gonna go out of my way and watch it. I feel like so yeah, I it's not gonna get a lot of viewership if I had to place money in one side or the other, but and then the people are gonna sit there and they're like, we didn't get any money from doing this, like nobody watched it, and then they're gonna be like, well, people don't want to watch video games, and that would be the thing. It's like, well, no, but I feel like they're gonna accidentally gatekeep themselves, where it's like nobody yeah, maybe on purpose, I don't know, let's get our tinfoil hats out like Tom, but like play games nobody wants to play, and then say nobody watched it, and then cut all video games from doing it.
I don't know, that I feel like if it was on, and it almost does seem on, it seems so stupid, it's almost like they messed it up on purpose, but I don't know how they would be able to refute that. It's like, well, video games just, competitive video games isn't really that popular. It's not those ones, but I mean, Twitch exists. So if they do that, I think they'll end up getting a lot of backlash. But I don't think the Olympics gives a shit about any backlash. I don't think they ever do anything. But I think that'll end up happening if that's what they cite, because I mean, as time goes on, like I still remember seeing ESPN play StarCraft on TV on it wasn't like ESPN 8 the Ocho, it was ESPN, the regular one, and they had StarCraft on it. And it was like at the mall on a TV. And that blew me away. So they can't, I mean, unless they won't be able to say, well, video games just aren't that popular, no one wants to watch them. It's bullshit. But everyone wants to watch them.
What pisses me off here too is we're talking about basically, even if it's not really it, but we're talking about the Olympic Games here, where the any other Olympic sport, that's the top, that's the tippy top of whatever you do, and that's what every athlete strives to. If the thing you're doing is an Olympic thing, that's the goal, to win that Olympic medal gold. So when they do this half-ass bullshit, where you don't have to be a fucking scientist to understand that you can Google stats and you can Google events that have already been done. Fucking any sport league in the world, the people who look at the numbers, they want the fucking numbers that the finals of a Dota tournament is having, or the finals of leagues like World Championships, or the final of a CS:GO major event, because millions of people watch those things.
I think they're just afraid that games are too complicated for your average Olympic viewer to understand. Because
but what does it matter?
Because they're not gonna watch it if they don't understand it.
But we're gonna watch it. We are the people who understand. I get what you mean. If they choose cricket to be an Olympic sport, I'm not gonna watch it because I don't know how fucking cricket is being played.
Yeah, but they don't see us as the audience, because we don't normally I don't normally watch Olympic sports.
They
don't see us.
They are still trying to cater. This is what you need to realize, Tom, is even though it's video games, they're still not catering to us. They are still catering to their existing market, which wants those sports. It doesn't matter if we wouldn't watch it, because since they pick traditional sports for their video games, their existing base might watch it. And I think that's more what they want. It's just more of that.
Yeah, but it's dumb not to include something that we would actually watch.
Oh, it's absolutely retarded. I mean, stupid. Very stupid.
Yeah, because for me, it's we have this group of people that already watch the Olympics, and they're gonna watch the Olympics no matter what. But then there's all these other people that don't watch the Olympics yet. But if we would include these certain esport games in here, maybe those people would watch the Olympics, therefore making the group of people that watch the Olympics bigger.
I think it's just scary to put all your coins in that basket and try it. I can say, especially if they're older, like you said, and they don't have a grasp on it.
But
it's very.
I get what you're saying. I understand. But here's the thing. There are so many Summer Olympic Games already. The list fucking goes on. If they tack on StarCraft there, no one is going to notice. And no one gives a shit. Because when you watch the Olympics, you already look at what things you want to watch yourself. Or if you're a fucking, crazy person like me, then I watch everything. But, if the camera's gonna if at 4 p.m. they're gonna switch to the StarCraft semifinals, and then at 4:30 they're gonna switch back to rowing. If you don't want to watch StarCraft, you fucking click yourself to Fox News or whatever. We watch that for half an hour because that's entertaining too, and then you go back to the rowing thing. I mean, Olympic Committee, look at here. Hire me to do your business because I will do it better than you do it.
Yeah, I definitely see X Games doing an esports event before the Olympics. Easy. Yeah, which would still be cool. I'd be down for it. But
I think after the stream, I'm gonna look up that list and see if any of these games are already being streamed anywhere. Because I bet if they are, it's very minimal viewers.
Oh, the games for
Olympic-
the
Game, yeah.
I'll link the article to you.
Maybe
Yeah,
we should
I mean,
try out for it.
Probably like Gran Turismo.
Yeah, I'm not gonna
We
look
have
up
the
Gran
chance.
Turismo. That's the only legitimate game that they have, from what I heard. So I won't look up Gran Turismo. I'm sure.
Don't
it's fine.
forget that baseball game though.
Yeah.
That's chibi baseball game.
World Baseball Softball Confederation. Okay.
World sailing.
Yeah, I want to see the sailing game. That sounds. I don't know how that would.
World rowing open format.
Yeah, I don't know what
You
the
can't-
open format like means.
It's open. What, like open source? Teams can change the code mid game.
You can cheat legally.
Maybe they didn't have.
That would
maybe
be
they
so
haven't
cool.
chosen the.
They need.
Who
they
has
need
the
to
best
make it
hacks?
Olympic. No, they need to make it Olympics where they allow everything and then just see where it goes. I want to see that.
Yeah, I mean
That's
that's been like the argument for, I don't know, decades, when, you know, oh, if athletes gonna use steroids anyway, then why not have like the steroid Olympics?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd love to see the Super Olympics where you can just
Absolutely.
do anything. Like hurdles, you're allowed to just knock the other dude's hurdle back or like bump into them if they're near you. That's like, have y'all seen one of the most fun? Like, it's like the ice skating or is it rollerblading? One or the other, where they can just like hit each other while they're going. That's so fun.
roller derby.
Roller derby?
That's it. That's it.
Yeah,
Name-
that's brutal.
Yeah,
it's so
roller
fun.
derby is it's fucking brutal, man.
Yeah, those ladies beat the shit out of each other.
Yes.
It is very entertaining. So really quickly, I did look up the baseball one, which isn't under World Baseball Softball Confederation. It's eBaseball Powerful Pro Baseball 2020.
An easier name.
Yeah, much easier. And it has one streamer with 2 viewers.
Okay.
There's also the Union Cyclist thing. It's a game called Zwift.
Yeah,
With
Yeah,
Swift.
the Swift,
Swift.
the Swift without the S.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. But are they like at home racing on the bike and then trying to like pass each
I
other
hope
in the game?
I
That's
mean,
pretty weird.
okay, I actually know what this is. I've seen Giant Waffle actually play this cycling thing.
This actually looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean,
3
again, like,
streamers, 7 viewers.
I mean, even
Why
this,
is this Olympic?
even the cycling thing is like you are on a bicycle that's just hooked up to like a machine, so you are cycling, and I think this is where, because I'm fully assuming that the rowing thing will be the same thing. I'm fully assuming that Gran Turismo you will sit in not a cockpit, but you will have like a steering thing. I fully assume that the baseball thing, even though it's a chibi baseball, I assume you have a bat and you swing the bat yourself. So I think that the point here is to preserve kind of the ingenuity, like integrity of like the sport itself, where you gotta have that physical aspect of the sport.
And they should have picked Wii Sports.
I would watch Olympic Wii Sports. Absolutely.
I've been way into Wii Sports recently. I finally have my Wii hooked up, and it looks amazing. I had to buy like 2 parts for it. It sucked.
Nice.
But yeah, Wii Sports would have garnered more attention than
Absolutely.
chibi World Baseball Men Women Club game. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah, I absolutely think, just if nothing else for the spectacle, I don't think anyone would take it seriously, but I think if they did a Wii Sports Olympic, it would be massive. There would be so much hype for that, just for the meme.
Anyway, yeah, that was
Fun.
basically, I shoehorned that in because I love the Olympics, but this was stupid.
True that. Well, I have something to talk about that I think is pretty interesting, less with games, but more specifically with Twitch. So I've never watched this guy stream, so if you don't like him, I really don't care. But Phantom Lord is a guy that is very controversial, and he did a lot of stuff, and he eventually got banned from Twitch. And a lot of people, I'm sure, would agree that he probably deserves to be banned for his various infractions over the years. But Twitch didn't tell him why he was banned, as he doesn't many of us. He being Twitch. Twitch doesn't tell us anything. And in fact, I saw a video the other day where a guy, like, he got banned, and it said for inoffensive or offensive or slurs or something, and it said it was in his channel profile, and his profile was only emails, like his email. That's it. Was his whole profile was just emails, and they banned him for that. Anyway, allegedly that's the reason. Anyway, so Phantom Lord decided to take the law into his hands and sued them for not telling them why he was banned, which is reasonable. If it is your your well-being, your way that you make your living, you should know why you got banned. It is your right to know why you have to change your profession. And he won the lawsuit. He actually did win the lawsuit against Twitch for them not telling him why he was banned. I don't think I haven't looked into the exact reasoning, but I think that opens Twitch wide open. I mean, that sets a precedent. So I think Twitch is about to go through a lot of big changes because he won a lot of money.
30,000.
How much?
30,000 or 20,000.
30,000. Yeah, so he won a good deal of money from Twitch.
He probably paid way more for his lawyers, though.
Yeah,
I think he was going for millions, but
oh yeah. I mean, he also won a lawsuit for the Counter-Strike scam thing that he ran.
How did you win it?
That's what it was. Because they couldn't. That's why they after he finally pushed back, they claimed that was the reason, even though they had no proof that he actually owned or operated that CS:GO website. So they had to unban him because of that, and now I think it's going to set a precedent. I think it's going to change things.
You're unlocking memories with major influencers running CS:GO accounts or CS:GO lottery websites.
Yeah.
What a time. I don't even what year did that happen? I was definitely like
It's like a decade ago.
Yeah, I was like 14 or something.
It was I think like 2016-ish.
Yeah. I think this will not change anything.
You don't think so?
I'll give my reason. I believe that when Phantom Lord got banned, Twitch was a very different company, and they probably had very different kind of contracts with people. They were not like owned by Amazon at the time. I believe that the contracts that are signed now look very different.
Yeah, it could be.
Also,
sure.
Twitch is run by Amazon, and I don't think $30,000 scares them enough to actually want to put their foot down and fix whatever.
But the thing is like what you have to remember is it's not even really about the money. Like I said, I don't mean it sets like a moral precedence. I mean it sets a legal precedence. Like can't like once something has been ruled, that's what it is. And like if it is ruled that for Phantom Lord that Twitch has to start disclosing the actual reason that people are banned, then they have to keep doing that going into the future. So that's what I mean. It's not like a moral precedence, or they might start changing their ways if it. And I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know if it will actually change anything. But I know that is typically how that kind of stuff works. Is once there's a ruling, that is the ruling, because the U.S. legal system doesn't contradict itself. That's why some high profile cases are so important, not because of what happens on that case, but because that affects every case related to it going forward. Because if you do something and then later down the line it happens again, you can say, hey, look, there's already legal precedents. This was illegal. So it's just an open and shut type thing.
But that's kind of dumb because we're just humans. We make mistakes. What if you make a bad call and the rest of the humanity does the same thing, and it's but we it's legal because we made a wrong ruling back in the days.
I mean, you can get them overturned. It's possible, but it's way, way, way hard.
Yeah, that
because
would
basically that means that you have to go back and prove that ruling wasn't legal.
It hasn't happened many times, but the most famous one is like Brown v. Board of Education, which is like the separate but equal, where it was like you can separate races as long as they're treated equally, and then they had to go back and be like, that doesn't work. And then it was very hard to go back on. The Supreme Court had to go back on itself, and so I hope Twitch starts being more transparent with that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know if they actually will, but I'm hoping that there's something involved that does set a precedence for that. So I don't know.
I mean, definitely
I just thought it was really
cool.
interesting.
I think, like, especially for the people who toe the line between not banned and banned, those people probably, like, it would be probably cool for them to know what was ultimately what got them banned, so that they don't do that in the future.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I know that Twitch just bans people and they don't ever tell you why. It's like, you broke TOS. Okay, what did I do? Like, just broke TOS. And I mean, I know, like, for a streamer like me, where I don't toe that line, I could probably, like, pinpoint the thing that got me ultimately banned. But there's a lot of people on this site that it could be any number of things that got them banned.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely some people that they just wouldn't. And that's what's so funny is whenever they're like, I don't know what I did. But it's like, well, I mean, you make everyone mad all the time, right? Like, I'm sure you can probably think of a few things.
Yeah. But anyway, GG for Phantom Lord for the court case win, but he's still a fucking douchebag.
And potentially lost money in the whole thing.
Yeah.
Most definitely he lost money on it.
What'll end up happening is he'll end up suing for court costs. That's usually how that goes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Or, well, actually, I think the court costs are put onto the loser in most of those cases. Oh, no, wait, that's not right. He will have to sue for court costs. Sorry, I was thinking of something else. But yeah, he can then sue Amazon or Twitch for court costs, and then they'll have to pay him back for all the money lost.
You are our in-house AP Gov teacher, Joe.
Sweet.
So, kids, clear your tables, clear your desks. It's time for a quiz.
Yeah, well, the only reason I know that is because I followed the H3H3 stuff really closely, and they actually mentioned that they could sue him, that guy, for court costs, but they just didn't care. They just wanted done with it and him out of their lives, so they just didn't. So
it was definitely good that H3 and Jim Sterling won both their court cases.
Yeah, those are the type of precedent-setting cases that I'm referring to. So now, people can point to Jim Sterling and be like, no, the court already ruled that I can talk shit about your bad video game.
And same with Ethan and Gila, they can point that Ethan was criticizing that dude's like content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were for YouTube specifically. Those were very big setting cases. Those were really nice.
And yeah, right. Like, on obviously, like, even I know very little about Phantom Lord, and the things I know about Phantom Lord makes me not like the guy, but I do believe that it would benefit, like, everyone on this website if Twitch is forced to, like, tell why we got banned and, like, point to the whatever moment is that when we cross the line when we get banned. Because I do think that if that safeguard is not there, then Twitch can just ban us just because we're, a bad image for the site.
I think that is, like, most of the time why you get banned. Because you're bad image. Because they can just go like, oh, you're banned.
Yeah,
can I get a reason? No.
But I mean, like, even if you're just a bad image for the site, I still believe that Twitch as a private entity, they have the right to do that. I mean, they have the right to choose, like, who has an account and who doesn't have an account. But I do believe that they need to be transparent when they do ban someone for being, like, a bad image for their company. Then fucking tell us.
It's real silly, but Twitch and YouTube are just going to do whatever they can to keep people happy, and most of the time they end up making just more people pissed. Truthfully,
Yeah,
I don't know why
at the
they
end
do
of
that.
the
because
day,
we're not on the side of the corporation.
Yeah,
I just wish there was actually like Mixer to compete against Twitch, but no.
well, let me introduce you to Facebook Gaming.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump from this big corporation to another big corporation.
You're telling me Facebook's gaming's big? Not Facebook. Yeah, it's like you're picking between Amazon and Twitch or Facebook Gaming and Facebook, and it's like,
Yeah.
well, I don't even. What are other streaming sites that aren't like cam girl sites?
Lumi said that
Okay.
Lumi like what
Reddit
Lumi said
strategy.
like was negatively reported in the news, banned. When I see the reported in the news, I started thinking about like YouTube and like independent news on YouTube is getting like suppressed heavily because a lot of those independent news things talk about like stuff that YouTube doesn't not like or Google doesn't like. You know, oppressive governments and death and destruction in third world countries, or you know, criticizing the US government for this and that. And there's a lot of no things in news, which is kind of like a double-edged sword, I believe, because news should definitely always be independent and transparent, and that, you know, should be able to report on whatever is happening as long as it's factual. But when you put like roadblocks to that, then that's when news gets a little bit corrupted.
Yeah, I guess you have to like separate media and news, because Fox News is not news, it's media.
I mean, I think, I mean, yeah, yes, I mean, 100% media and news should be separate entities, but I think, especially in the United States, when you can use the word news and not mean that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone who watches Tucker Carlson, for instance, should stop watching Tucker Carlson right now, because Tucker Carlson has successfully argued, mind you, in court that no reasonable person could take Tucker Carlson seriously for the things he says.
Yeah.
I'm not making this shit up.
Yeah, Fox News' lawyers argued that and won. Like,
Yes.
he was sued for spreading misinformation, and his lawyers argued that no reasonable person would take him seriously.
Yes.
So they argued it was just entertainment, and then
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
But like
Alex Jones
obviously,
did the same thing.
Yeah. And like
Alex
that's
Jones
what
is-
like that's so weird, because he presents something as facts, but then, you know, no reasonable person would take this seriously.
The greatest mind.
But then you would think that most of the people are reasonable, which they're not.
Well, yeah, but that again, like, you can't call the people retards.
Yeah, I can't.
And you know, I mean, this is going like super politics right now, so I'm gonna put a stop on to it.
We talk about games, by the way.
Gaming podcast.
Anybody watch Mortal Kombat yet?
Oh shit, no, I didn't.
I think I saw a scene from it.
Is it just me?
Yeah, I think it's just you.
Dang,
Yeah.
I liked it.
Welcome, King of the Room.
Damn right.
Well, I was supposed to watch it, but then I started watching, you know, nature documentaries instead.
That's fair. Yeah, it was good. It was exactly what it needed
That
to
is
be.
two opposite ends of the spectrum. You got nature documentaries on this side and Mortal Kombat on this side.
I love nature documentaries, dude.
Have you watched My Octopus Teacher yet?
No.
I heard it got an Oscar.
It did. I almost watched it before too. I feel like a hipster
What is
because
that?
I saw it before it was cool.
Oh,
It's a
I
Netflix
heard about
documentary?
it. Yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah.
I do you know who runs the Your Movie Sucks YouTube channel?
Mm.
Well, he does like, you know, commentary on movies and stuff. Mostly he criticizes a lot of stuff. Because he basically thinks that Hollywood is just shit. And
Yeah.
He's right.
And he also said that the octopus thing was just kind of shit.
I mean, it's I can't. I didn't watch it, so I don't know. But I can't imagine a documentary about an octopus being Oscar worthy. Like what happened in it that was so compelling?
The octopus's acting was just so on point.
Right? Like that's kind of what I feel like. Like it's not. And I don't know. I don't know if documentaries should even like qualify for some of that stuff because there's no acting or screenwriting. I guess there's a lot of editing and stuff like that.
And
though,
direction.
So. Yeah, and direction for sure. So I guess it could. I mean, but it's like,
yeah, what award did it win? Because it definitely.
Oh, that's a good question.
That would be like it definitely not best actor.
While you're searching that, speaking of the Oscars. They had their lowest viewership ever, I believe, this year. And
I think it was 10 million, right?
A little under.
Okay,
under 10,
okay.
like 9 point something. But to me, when I heard that, I'm like, of course. Like, who the fuck wants to watch like the industry literally jerking themselves off?
Hey, dude, it's like it's that and politics. Those are the only two things that happen.
It won best documentary, so
there you go. We figured it out.
I put my foot in my mouth.
There's not too many to choose from, probably.
Yeah, probably not.
You got this kid's fourth grade video, like project.
How did Tiger King not win?
Was it even nominated?
Come out this year, right?
I don't know. No, it was last year, but that's
when it
that was like the biggest thing until the Rona. How did Tiger King not win?
Well, I've seen Tiger King.
Because they probably didn't bribe the fucking committee that chooses the winners.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That I hate that is how that works. Like you just straight up just give people money and that's like, there's no oversight or anything to how they vote.
For those who don't know, the Oscars is a sham. It's a bullshit award show. Literally meant for the industry to pat themselves on the back. No one cares who wins. It's just, people just bribe themselves to victory in that shit.
Yep, that's Oscars.
What I don't understand is how Tiger King came out last year. I have no concept of time because that was before quarantine, so it feels like 9 million years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
I could swear it was like 3 years ago.
No, it came out like January or February last year.
That's freaking me out.
Yeah, February.
Yeah, time flies, dude. You'll notice like year after year, the time just keeps going faster and faster, and then months turn into weeks, and then you're 70 years old.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I was reading what people thought about the Oscars. Now, generally speaking, like because people didn't watch the Oscars probably because the Oscars wasn't even like advertised this year, and like nothing came out, so who cares? Like probably like easy wins this year for anyone who won. But eventually, in my reading of the comments, the discussion ultimately went to, why does the Game Awards have so many viewers then? And I know the answer, because I'm a god. It's because game trailers have 2 words.
Coming soon.
World premiere.
World premiere. I missed that guy. They didn't do him this year. They just put the words on the screen, and every time it happened, I was watching it with a group of people at my house. I would just like, it's just me in the corner of the room. Is world premiere, and everyone hated me, but I had to because he wasn't there.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I feel like because it is not Hollywood, and I don't know that it's any less rigged, but I feel like people probably have that perception that it is less rigged.
Because of that perception, yeah.
Because like I feel like people in the gaming industry, a lot of them try to be personable. Like, a lot of developers and stuff, they try to be personable and they try to be relatable. They want to seem like just another person because they are. A lot of devs and stuff are just dudes, not just dudes, but just people. But so I mean, that's why I like watching them. I do enjoy the world premieres too, but I just see other nerds enjoying nerd shit, and I love that. And that's what it is. I don't see some billionaire up on stage in a suit worth more than I made this year telling me how good his best friend's movie was. I see a guy up there passionately telling us how awesome it is that he got an award for the game that him and his team put out. And even if that award wasn't legitimate, it's still cool to see that. That's why I like watching the Game Awards. It just feels more legitimate, even if it's not.
I got 2 more words for you. Jeff Keighley. That's the only reason I watch it.
He's the man.
The Muppets. They have the Muppets every year. I forgot about that too.
Like Jeff
Oscars doesn't have the
Keighley.
Muppets.
Jeff Keighley is the reason why I believe at least the perception part, because Keighley, the perception for Keighley is like that. I mean, he's like a gamer like we are. I mean, he put the fucking thing together himself. He organizes the entire thing himself. He's very open like about like how he does it and like the struggles he goes through with it every year. And to an extent, like I believe like Jeff when he tells me that they're not rigged or whatever. Like, I don't know. But like with game trailer, not game trailers, but the Game Awards show, if they didn't have the world premieres, I probably wouldn't watch it. Because who cares about the fucking awards? And I say this fully realizing that the first episode of this fucking podcast, we went painstakingly through the fucking Game Awards, award for award. So therefore, I have an announcement to make. I believe that there is a time in every content creator's life where they have to issue an official apology for something. This is my apology.
You gotta make sure to cry and sigh before you say it.
There it is. Even look down. That's what's up.
I'm sorry, you guys. I'm sorry I put you guys through that. I'm sorry you watched that dog shit. Cause who the fuck thought it was a good idea to go through the awards and discuss the winners and losers
For 5 hours.
Yeah, it was a long one.
And I would like to personally extend an official apology to Gradigi, North, and the old Trevor.
And the old Trevor.
Because I put you guys through hell. And I promise it'll never happen again.
Easy 2 million views. Easy 2 million views.
Speaking of Oscars,
That's how you promote the YouTube channel. You were asking when you should do it. It's right now.
Yep.
It wasn't 5 hours. The entire episode is about 3.5.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like 3.5 or 4.
But like half of the episode is us doing the Game Awards show. Never again. Cause fuck that shit.
Yeah, I think now we just talk about like the highlights, and that's about it. Like game of the year, and then whichever one we thought was interesting. I think that's what we talked about last time.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it should be. Like,
Yeah.
It should be like Game of the Year, and then what we think should have won it. I guess that is like the maximum.
yeah, I mean,
How
definitely.
I'm
Yeah,
trying to
go
figure
ahead.
out how long the game awards are. They are like, I remember watching this year and just getting frustrated with having to sit through award before an announcement. Because that's the thing with the Game Awards. It's like people watch it for the announcements, but then you have to wait 20 minutes every announcement.
Yeah, I mean,
gotta watch the
and
other
like,
people.
and Jeff has talked about that too. Like, how do you balance that? Because there's clearly that audience that just wants to see the game announcements, and then there's the crowd that wants to see the awards.
Yeah.
And you know, like every award is not equal to other awards. So how do you balance it? And that's why they rush through a lot of awards at the beginning, the lesser awards, until they get to the big shit.
Yeah, they did that pregame show. I remember that.
Oh yeah. With the IGN lady.
But do you know what audience doesn't want? They don't want to see the same freaking trailer like 15 times. Because it's every time you get like that one game that no one cares about and its trailer here 15 times.
I just like I legitimately just want to see the world premiere trailers. I don't like if they have existing trailers. I don't care about that either.
Yeah. I don't. I mean, I don't watch every second of the Game Awards, but those were the reasons I watch it. I definitely don't just sit here and like locked onto it, but it's good background noise.
Definitely enjoyed it last year with like Vin Diesel being in Ark. That was funny. The Smash announcement, that was good. Like I remember they announced a decent amount of stuff. I was like, I'll watch it again. I thought it was worth my time, but also it was like 5 hours. So like,
yeah, it is absurdly long. What's crazy is it's that long, and then you remember how many they give away on their breaks. Like it is like 5 hours long, and every time they go to a commercial break, you hear about another award they gave out while no one was watching.
Best esports coach.
Yeah, it's stuff like that, which kills me.
yeah, because like, and look, like I don't, and that's like, I don't want to sound like a dick, but those types of awards, I don't give a shit. Like,
yeah,
I don't think no
clearly,
one really cares.
Nobody does, and they know that. That's why it's between the things. That's what kills me. Is it's like, why? Like the point of an award is to let people know how awesome you are, and you're going to give them 3 seconds of of airtime, just as long as it takes for you to say it.
Because I kind of have to believe that those awards. I wonder if those awards are there because someone is paying Keighley to have those awards.
Possible.
Or like inflating the number of awards they give out.
Mm.
We give out 500 awards, like the award that's best game that starts with M and ends with Ario that released this year.
Because I've heard like developers speak about the game award show that they love the award show because it boosts sales of the games. Like virtually every game that has been nominated for any category sees an increase in sales, and especially if they win like best indie game or game of the year or whatever, it boosts sales like dramatically. And then they can plaster that shit like everywhere too.
Yeah. Yeah, same reason that they are so eager to win the Oscars. It's because, and that's why like best actor and best actress is so big, is because once they have that, it's just a moneymaker. You basically triple the amount you're worth. Whether or not you deserved it, it doesn't matter. You got it. Now you're worth a bunch more. Because now you get to, and even like you said, they don't even need to necessarily win it. I mean, how many times do you see, and it almost makes the actual award seem a little pointless after the award is over, but it's like Academy Award nominee, whatever. It's like, oh, so that's one of the losers is what you're
not good enough.
Thanks for letting me know I'm watching the movie with number 3. That's great. And that always confused me. It's like, why are you bragging about not winning an award? Because that's essentially what that is. Anytime they're like Oscar nominee or Academy Award nominee, it's like you're just bragging about losing.
They're all in collusion.
Yeah.
The world's corrupt. Down with the man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the Game Awards. I definitely don't care about the Oscars or any other fucking award show. But I'm partial towards the Game Awards because I know it helps the developers. And some of those, like, especially those indie devs, they need every fucking cent they can get. But, EA probably not so much.
Yeah. But if you, the viewer, you like award shows, here's an award for you for watching us today.
Pat yourself
on the best viewer on earth.
Are the best viewer.
Yeah.
It's crazy how like the Game Awards last year had 83 million. Oh, it says live streams. But they had like I've seen the number I saw was like 60 million. This is telling me 80 million. They had like 6 to 8 times what the Oscars had. and the Oscars has been this thing since forever. And then the Game Awards is, some dude named Jeff Keighley. Which, if I call my mom right now and be like, "Hey, did you hear what Jeff Keighley did?"
But
no,
again, the Oscars only showed in the US, probably on a TV station that costs money. Game Awards show on Twitch for free for everyone around the world.
That is true.
Yeah. I mean, it is weird that they don't stream it. It is only on TV. There's nowhere to watch it online, which is probably why it only got 10 million. I'm curious how many people cut their cord last year alone. Got rid of cable and satellite. Because it's
probably next year we're gonna have to go to the movies to see Oscars.
Yeah, just to try to shoehorn. That's what's funny is they might do stuff like that because it's like, we need to force people to buy movie tickets, but just no one's gonna go.
They'll make it their own streaming service for the Oscars that you use once a year because everything has a streaming service.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's pay-per-view even after it goes online, for sure. On top of that, they gave away NFTs of Chadwick Boseman's head. So that was really fucking stupid.
I don't know how okay I'm with that thing.
Yeah, they gave it away in the grab bags because everyone that comes to the Oscar gets a bag full of I think I heard they were worth like $5,000 to $10,000 on average. It's just a goodie bag full of shit.
It's like a children's birthday party.
Yeah, but for rich people.
Yeah. So they're the children.
Yeah, so I guess they got like a download code in that goodie bag for an NFT of Chadwick Boseman's head.
Yeah. I love when you monetize dead people.
Yeah. I don't want to get off on that, but I hate NFTs too. That whole thing is really stupid.
I don't get it.
But, yeah.
I'm too stupid to understand.
Yeah, I don't understand why people buy them, but oh well. But yeah, the Oscars are shitty. That's the gist of it.
Yeah. Nothing of value was lost.
Yeah. Hopefully they have half as much viewership next year, and then it just goes away.
I do miss movie theaters though. I need to go to our movie theater is open. I need to go. Last movie I saw was Sonic in theaters on February. That was on Valentine's Day, right? February 13th when that came out. Went by myself.
Currently on Netflix.
Is it? Oh, in Finland.
In Finland, it is. I wish we had like a VPN sponsor, so I could do like a thing.
I know. I immediately thought, man, if this was a YouTube video, one of us would have said, "Well, I have good news for you, Nord, with NordVPN."
Yeah, Nord.
Yeah, Nord.
My PTSD flashbacks.
This could be your ad spot.
Yeah. Hey, listen. There's 7 people we could market to.
Do I have the answer for you? American Airlines will fly you to Finland.
Yeah. People are missing out on marketing to our bustling audience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I did hear if you use Amtrak for trains in the United States, tickets are half off right now for a few days, for like a week.
Interesting.
So a round trip for me to go to from Alabama to New York and stay for like a weekend and come back, $50. Granted,
holy cow.
Yeah, no, granted it is like
15 hours or something.
It's a 24-hour train. So, but like I don't know, like
maybe
for a cheap college student, I might book it.
If you include that like as part of the trip and maybe throw in another $20 for the cabin car, because those are actually really nice. You could, I mean, that could just be part of the experience. Just spending the day on a train in your own room.
Yeah, no, you get a friend group, you bring a bunch of board games.
Yeah, that would be
cool.
We
need to have when Tom and North, when y'all come down here, we'll have an Amtrak podcast. Where we buy one of the bunks and then just sit at the table and all bring our mics.
Yeah.
And pray to God the internet holds.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't know that about Amtrak.
Me neither.
But yeah, I don't know the last time I saw a movie. Now you've made me think about that. I think it may have been Sonic.
Most people's are either Sonic or Trolls. No, Trolls was the first one that come out on streaming services, I think.
Yeah. That was the big one. That was the troll that broke the camel's back.
I think the last movie that I saw in a movie theater was Arrival. I was on a date with a lovely lady.
How'd that go? Or is that too personal?
Definitely not a second date, so I think I fucked it up.
Oh, okay.
I mean, this was I don't like. I think Arrival came out in 2016, 17, maybe 15 even. It's been a while. It's been a while since I went to the movies.
What's that? Speaking of, I guess to get us back on track, what's that space game that's coming out in like this month? I can't remember what it's called. Returnal. That's it.
It has
anybody.
But like Returnal does not concern any of us because it is impossible to get a fucking PS5.
True.
Fact. Returnal?
I didn't know that was a PS5 exclusive.
It is definitely a PS5 exclusive, and it is it's getting like really good reviews.
That's not gonna sell well though.
That's what's funny about the PS5 is right now there's a finite, and I realize that that's how it always works, but there's a finite number of people that can buy it, even though there's more people that want to buy it. There's probably a lot of people that want to buy Returnal, and they just aren't going to because they have no way of playing it.
Yeah, a lot of people are. I think the review embargo is still up, so they can't like fully talk about it. But a lot of people are saying that what they can say is that they really like it.
I have definitely doo-dooed on this game. I remember they showed this at the State of Play, the last one, and I streamed it, and I hardcore doo-dooed on this game.
Yeah, because the marketing for the game was shit.
Yes.
Because they did not explain the concepts correctly. They did not show enough gameplay to fully understand what the game is about. But apparently it's just good.
Well, when in 3 years when we're all able to play it, we'll come back on the podcast and talk about it.
Stay tuned.
Yeah. just check back in around episode 100.
Yeah.
We'll get it.
Next week though, on Thursday or Friday, Resident Evil Village comes out.
I didn't realize that was so soon. That's awesome.
Super quick. Next week.
We get to see the tall lady.
Yes! Yes!
Let's go.
Them titties!
Her shoe size is 24.
Don't be weird,
Learn
chat.
that.
Excellent. I was wondering.
Just in
I've
case.
always wondered what is her shoe size. That's massive.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
people ask the most weird. Like, I think like fantasy nerds are probably the worst because they ask like so minute details about like shit that the author probably never has thought about.
It's because we have to know, Tom.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like fantasy shit too, but I don't need to fucking know everything.
I needed to know that she was 9'7". So
it is so funny how they were just like, we didn't expect people to go off on this so much. Here is her biography. Here's all her stats.
how could they not expect people to love her? She's like 9'7" and built like a shit brick house. Like that is she is put together in a way that shouldn't be possible. And then they're like, well, we didn't know she'd be popular. It's like you gave her an absurd proportions and then a skin tight dress and then 2 hot daughters. You're like,
Three.
We didn't know.
3.
Hot daughters. Yeah, we thought we didn't think anybody'd like her.
I thought this was scary. Why isn't this scary for anyone?
Yeah. Why aren't these giant cans scary for anybody?
You know, she's supposed to suck your blood. Isn't that supposed to be scary?
Oh.
They have that one trailer too where, because the game's first person, so the eyes is from Ethan's eyes. She's like sucking blood off of his hand, and of course it looks what you guys think it looks like. And then it's like, why isn't this scary for anyone? And then people are like, I want her to suck my hand too.
Yeah, the term is scaroused.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, it's. Are any? I know I'm certain Tum is. You're gonna get it like pretty soon, right? Are North or Trev? Are you guys gonna get it?
I will. My experience with the new Resident Evil is like 7. Is I played 7 for 2 hours, changed my pants after I did it, and did not touch the game afterwards. It was a
Yeah.
great game. I cannot do horror. That I had to stream it because like I needed somebody with me to play it because I just couldn't do it. But
Yeah, I can't do horror either.
will-
even though
I will
if
watch
there's
some.
like for realsies, I am super scared of like
Tall
any
people.
woman who's taller than 6'3", I guess. Like they're scary. I don't know why.
They need to Photoshop North like huddled in a corner of
Yeah.
like in a WNBA game.
Yeah, that definitely.
I mean, some of them. There's some reason to be like. Have you? I know. I'm sure nobody here watches wrestling, but The Rock's cousin currently wrestles. Her name is Jax. She will fuck you up. Like she straight picks the other women up and hurls them. She is a lot of woman, and I love it. She.
Yeah, I've
is
never heard of her.
great.
How about the?
Oh man, yeah. If you want to see someone just.
Yeah,
They
no, never mind. I don't know if I could like send this
You would-
picture, but the first picture that pops up that I found is her just grabbing a girl, and she is twice the size and
Yeah.
acting like it's her child. It looks like she's saving a child from a fire, but she's just gonna chunk that lady.
Yeah, like her rival is this little blonde girl named Alexis Bless, and she's like 5'2", 110 soaking wet, and like at one point she's just like, "Hey, come here." It's like, what is happening? It was beautiful. It was great.
Great rivalry.
Yeah, because the little blonde one is all mouth, of course, and then she gets friends that are bigger than her to fight Jax, and then Jax is just like.
Oh yeah, she's 6'1", 272 pounds. I'm good.
Yeah, she's a big woman.
She
Lot of
weighs
woman.
more than twice as much as I do. I will not mess with that.
Got to have a lot of body to handle a lot of woman, Trev. Yeah, it's very entertaining though.
You should be scared because what you just gave me is a real life reference to the Resident 8 lady. Evil.
Yeah, but on a
That's
slightly smaller
All
scale.
that plus.
What you're
3
saying is
feet.
if I have enough money, I could maybe get her to meet up with me in person.
And
And
fuck you
step
up.
on your head, yeah.
Yes.
And
Fuck you up.
and just be like, "Come here, Trevor."
Ooh, I just pay her to throw me.
Yeah, there's $20 if you throw me into that trash can.
I'll give you an extra
Okay.
5 if you spit on me afterwards.
You got me.
God damn. But yeah, I am going to purchase RE8 probably on release day.
Yeah.
Hopefully it runs smoothly on the ye old PC.
Yeah, have they released-
It looks really good. And I also know the other Resident Evil news was that CGI TV show they're doing got a trailer for it. It's supposed to be after it's with Leon and Claire after Resident Evil 2. Like it looks like the remake, but it's a Netflix show. So it's like all CGI. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. I can find it. Evil CGI.
They're making like they're making the Netflix series, and I think they're making another series / movie too.
Infinite Darkness. That's what it's called. It's called Resident Evil Infinite Darkness. And it
Fucking
just
stupid
basically
name.
looks like the cutscenes from. It's like if you've seen any like Final Fantasy 7 or the Final Fantasy 15 movie, and it's just like it just looks like a video game, but it's a show. Hey, look, I hope it's good.
What's it gonna be on?
Netflix.
Oh, Netflix. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think they get all that stuff. Have they released tech specs for?
Oh yeah,
RE8?
yeah. I mean, they're on Steam too.
Oh, true. Yeah. I forget that Steam posts them on there.
I get into the recommended. Obviously, no RTX because no RTX card. But I don't know. Some of those games, like even if I slot into the recommended, they can still be a little bit choppy, and sometimes the specs are just lies, and sometimes the game just doesn't work. Looking at you, Cyberpunk.
Sometimes your Lady Dimis, whatever her name is, looks more like Lara Croft from the N64. And some people would prefer that.
Yeah. It's a lot of cone.
Yeah.
That one polygon.
But yeah, I mean, I'm excited for RE8. I absolutely fucking love 7. I think it's an excellent horror game. Worth, for anyone to play. But I know 8's gonna be more action-based. Even the demos that were, out, they were clearly already, more action than horror. But I hope that they retain some form of horror, at least,
It always seems to be Resident Evil 7. Well, they put out a horror game, and then it'll just progressively, each game like it will just get more actiony.
It's going to be full-on torture porn.
They're sliding back into their old habits.
Was 6 first person?
No.
Okay, so seventh was the first person they had. Okay, that's interesting that they continued that with 8. Because I had assumed that they did third person or first person in 7 purely because they wanted to get in on that VR money. But then it looks like 8 is also first person. It's interesting that they kind of switched the way their game plays like that.
7 sold more. 7 sold more than 6 and 5.
Yeah, well, and I think that yeah, and they probably think it's because of the first person because they're dumb as hell, and not the fact that it was a horror game that was actually scary.
Mm-hmm.
That's I should work for a game company.
Listen here, Capcom, right here.
Yeah, I guarantee that's what it is. That's the only reason they and hopefully 8 is good. And I remember 5 and 6 getting just lambasted for being awful. So I feel like they hung on to the wrong part of 7 to carry over into 8.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's still good though.
It's I can understand them because Resident Evil 4 is the most cherished Resident Evil by the fans. And RE4 is definitely not horror. It is a third-person action game. I don't you can slap survival horror on it or how much you want, but it's not a horror game. And I think that they went with 5 was even more like action, and then 6 was trying to be everything at once. 6 has 3 campaigns. One is a straight-on action movie, and then it's kind of action and kind of horror, and then one campaign is pure horror. And people fucking hated that. And I because I still believe that you can basically take the Resident Evil name off of 7 and the game wouldn't change at all.
Right. Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. And that may have honestly been the biggest strength of it, is that they didn't rely on all the stuff that they had been building up. And I think that that's probably what they should try to focus on, is these smaller stories, because that's ultimately what's scary. It's not scary if that, in the first Resident Evil, it's not scary that the entire city has been taken over by zombies. It's scary that you're stuck in a house with them. I don't even like horror that much, and that seems really obvious to me. It's not that there's zombies all over the planet. That's not scary. It's scary when you're stuck with those zombies. And I feel like after the first few, they lost sight of that. And that's just from the outside looking in. That's not even me having experienced the games, but the first 2 were very tight, small games in the grand scheme of it. And I don't know about the third one, but I'm assuming it was more towards that as well, since people also enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I think 7's strength is the first person aspect, and also the fact that it's set in Louisiana, in the swamps, and this big old like Louisiana looking house, and it's that confined space, it's that claustrophobia that starts hitting, and there's tight corners, tight corridors, and you have to rummage around this house and do puzzles and carry on items and stuff. Eventually you go outside the house too a little bit, but it's still a very confined game. And I do believe that like they started so fresh with 7 that's the biggest strength of it, because they completely abandoned, like, Chris shows up like the last 20 seconds of the game. Like, he picks you up from the ground, and that's the only connection to like Resident Evil.
I didn't even know that it had that. I thought it was just like a totally separate story just set in the world. I had no idea Chris was even in it.
They do hammer, like, they shoehorn basically Umbrella in the game. Like, Chris basically saves you, and then you fly off in a helicopter and the Umbrella logo is there. And that's like the big, like, whoa, is Chris working for Umbrella?
Nobody cares.
And then they did like a
Give me the
DLC
6'9" woman.
They did the DLC with like Chris. And again, that DLC, apparently it's great, but it's pure fucking action.
Mm.
And I think that is my frustration, not only with the fans, but also with the developers, because I want those horror games. I want that 7. I want that RE1. I want that survival horror. But obviously when Capcom does something more actiony, there's a lot more praise for Capcom. And so, of course, they're going to do that again. And if 4 is the best game in the series, which has no horror, then of course they're going to try to recreate that. I don't know. I'm asking for things that other people probably don't want from the series.
Yeah, I mean, that's ultimately they tainted the waters whenever they made 4, right? Because up to that it was, a primarily horror thing, and then they saw how much money they could make if it wasn't.
And like, speaking of 4 also got like announced. They announced the VR version of 4. Going to get a VR component so they can resell RE4 once again.
At least it's interesting. The rumors beforehand was that it was going to be like a remake, which nobody needs because it's on every platform ever.
Mm.
VR,
And
I would try it on VR.
And it still looks fine, honestly. Like, I don't think that game is ugly, even by today's standards. Like, it looks like an older game, but it's not one of those games that hurts to look at. I think it still looks fine.
But did you hear the more ridiculous thing?
Please tell me, Tom.
So, apparently, there's a remake in the works of The Last of Us 1.
Yep. I've heard many about that.
That is so infuriating. That means this is the second time it's being remastered or remade, because it happened when the PS4 came out.
Sony seems to be hell-bent to have Last of Us on every console.
They're probably going to retroactively put it on the 2. Let's dumb down these graphics, slap it on the PS2.
Make it a D.
And then, here's your PSP port. Sony also announced they're not doing a sequel to Days Gone, which apparently ended on a cliffhanger. I never played that game. And instead opted to make more blockbuster games, and then also announced that the storyline, the outline for Last of Us 3 is done. So
yeah, the Days Gone thing has been a fucking whack to like read about, because like fans have been like, it's been like a steady decline, it seems like, because I don't know the actual amount of people who actually want a Days Gone like sequel, but it seems like it's been like steadily declining, and people are talking more and more and more about it. And then the devs actually come out and say that it's never gonna happen. And then like there's petitions on like online like to make a sequel. Then the old game director from Ben's studio, he went on an interview and he said this: if you want the sequel for the game, then buy the fucking game at full price. And because sales were shit, according to Sony, they're not gonna make a fucking sequel. And his comments like infuriated people. I get where he's coming from. It could have been worded like way better. Because you can't antagonize the customers, basically.
Yeah.
But I understand where he's coming from, because obviously, like, you don't have to have a degree in marketing and you know, economics to understand that if no one buys your product, then there's not gonna be a fucking sequel for it.
Yeah. That's I feel like that's more what he meant, but he said it in the douchiest way possible.
Yes, definitely.
Like, and I agree. I mean, everybody knows how much of a big Earthbound fan I am. I buy every release for Earthbound. I own it on the Wii, the Wii U, and the Switch. Like, I own the SNES Classic partially because it had Earthbound on it. Because I want Earthbound 2, Mother 3 to come out, and I realize that that's how that happens. It's like I have too much money, and I love Earthbound, so I'm going to buy it. And yeah, you do. You have to spend money if you want to see something made. He's exactly right.
It's like an unfortunate like tragedy, I believe, like with Days Gone. Because on one hand, like the studio pitched like a sequel to Sony, and Sony just shut them down.
Mhm.
And then and this is like I don't understand. Like I don't know if I understood like wrong this or whatever, because Bend Studio was then like hired to make The Last of Us remake. And then at some point, Bend Studio got tired of doing that shit, so they pitched like a new IP to Sony, and Sony was like, okay, do that instead. And then they took The Last of Us remake back to Naughty Dog Studio for them to make it. So, and this is why it's confusing to me. So Sony shut down Days Gone 2, which is a sequel to an established IP, but then they gave them permission to take a huge risk with a new IP, which is way fucking riskier, and like okay that thing instead. I don't know. That seems super odd to me.
Yeah. Do you know what the IP is or was?
No, because they're apparently like working on it. It's like unannounced.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is dumb, or they just had a lot of faith in that IP, but I can't imagine, like, you know, a sequel guarantees a certain number of sales just from people buying it because it's number 2. So it must have something that has their confidence in it. I am curious what it is.
Or they must really hate Days Gone.
Or they hate Days Gone.
Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Days Gone is coming to PC though next month. Yeah, I mean, I'll wait for like Digital Foundry's video on how it fucking runs, because you know Horizon Zero Dawn's release was real fucking rocky.
Oof.
Fuck it, if summer is like devoid of video games, I'll fucking play Days Gone. If my, you know, whatever $30 by that time is like, if that contributes to a Days Gone too, then more power to it, I guess. I just got Days Gone on my PS4 for free. Well, there you go, boys and girls. You can get
And
the
that
game
is
for
why
free.
you can get it there. I think it's almost on everything. It's like on PS Now if you have that. It's on if you somehow get your hands on a PS5. If you have PS Plus, it's like in the list of games that they give you for free just for owning a PS5. Like it's gone on sale many times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. The game director who said buy the fucking game, he does not work for Bend Studios anymore. He didn't get fired or anything. He left the project like before. But yeah, I understand his frustration too, because he probably gets like bombarded every fucking day on Twitter, like, why isn't there a fucking sequel? Well, 1, I don't fucking work for the studio anymore. And like 2, we pitched it, but we got shut down. And like 3, fucking buy the game when it comes out, you fuckers.
Yeah. That's what sucks, is like people only see that. And it's not always this way, but people only see that explosion. They don't see the 2 years of constant harassment that bubbled up into that moment,
Mm.
And it may not, I don't know. But I know that for a lot of people, that's the case. And yeah, you're human. You can only take so much before you pop.
He also like expressed like frustration for like people who openly, like on social media, they're like, oh, this game looks pretty good, but I'm gonna wait for a sale. Oh, this looks good, I'm gonna wait for Game Pass or whatever. Apparently that like ticks him off because so much like rides on people buying the thing on full price. And again, like, I understand your frustration, but you can't communicate that in like a beautiful way to the people who are you're trying to sell that shit to.
Yeah, there's really not. I said he said it in the worst way possible. There's not a good way of saying give me more of your money. You can't say that gracefully.
Yeah.
No matter how.
In-game purchases, loot boxes.
Imagine if you have like $250 per year that you're gonna spend on video games. Nowadays, if you buy like season pass and a full price game, that is $100. So if you just wait a year or maybe less, you could get it for like $20 to $30. So why not just wait? You can get more with your money. Why? Unless you want for the day one hype, which
I think
everyone
that's what
goes for.
That's what like Microsoft is starting to get at with like Xbox Game Pass and putting all their Microsoft made games on Game Pass day one. So you invest in giving, a fixed amount of, cost for a game straight up rather than them banking on people going, well, I'll wait till it's $20.
Yeah, and it's gonna be there for like 2 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, and then they're gonna take it off, and you still want to play the game, and you're like, no, I'm not playing it, and then you have to pay the full price.
Because I don't work for the industry, but I believe this is how the industry kind of basically thinks. If the industry could choose themselves, every video game would be pre-ordered. Because that's what they have, like metrics for this shit. The more a game is pre-ordered, the more successful it is, obviously. And the more money they can give that studio to complete their fucking video game. And day one sales, they fucking matter. You got to be number one on the sales list to get the most money possible. And I believe like the first week is like the most critical. And after that it's like fuck it.
Yeah. I mean it's just the nature of the beast, unfortunately. And is it to get a little devil's advocate-y, is it really our fault for not buying it at full price or their fault for giving too much money to people who didn't do anything for the project? There's a lot of executives that probably got a whole lot of money that if they didn't, then they could have afforded to make a second one. So should we buy it at full price or should you just allocate your funds better?
Yeah. I mean, I'm never gonna say I'm not never gonna sit here and say that $70 is an okay price for a video game, or 60 or 30 or 20 or whatever. I'm never gonna do that because ultimately each and every one of us, we make that decision. But if someone is like, you should have bought the game on full price, the most douchebag part of that is that I choose what your game is worth. And I don't give a shit what you think it's worth. So if I choose not to buy it at full price, I fucking well have that right to choose.
Amen.
You sound like American, Tom.
Yeah. I have a right. Freedom.
I'm getting more American by the minute.
Yep.
Freedom. Bald eagles. Bush light.
and my fucking rifle.
Yeah, it starts here, and the next 4 years you'll be raiding the Capitol. No time.
Yeah, on the front lines, baby. But yeah, I mean, I think Joe is right that there's no good way to say like buy my game at full price.
Yeah.
But I saw Rose also putting like, to just be honest. Yeah, I think like most reasonable people understand like what's going on, and understand like the simple 1+1, that if you don't buy the fucking game, there's not gonna be a fucking sequel. And like 3 years after release, you can cry all you want on Twitter, but ultimately what matters is how much money did they make. And if the big boy Sony thinks that they did not make enough money that it warrants a sequel, then big boy Sony is fucking right. They didn't make enough money from it to justify the fucking sequel.
Yeah. I mean, that's, people always say vote with your dollar, and I feel like they normally mean, whenever that's mentioned, it's normally like don't buy something. But you still vote with your dollar when you buy something. And, 60 votes is going to be worth more than 20 votes, So, and you're right, Tom, it is up to each and every one of us to decide how much a game is worth. And that's not what Sony likes to hear. Not Sony specifically, but just any producer like that. They don't want to hear that. They want to decide how much their game is worth. So,
Yeah, obviously.
I know some developers do like on Steam they will have like supporter where you pay like $20 extra to support the devs. But I don't see EA doing that because it's kind of weird to pay like a $1 billion company like here's an extra 20 for your trouble.
Right. Yeah. EA doesn't need it. They make FIFA every year. That's what that is.
I'm not gonna tip the mega corporation for giving me a shitty game. It's like, hey, thanks for doing less work, but with this Madden or whatever. Like, come on. Yeah, that's ridiculous. And I could understand. And what really at the end of the day, what sucks about all of this discourse and all of this discussion is it ends up hurting the little guy more than anything because they get looped into it. Like, people don't want to, and it sucks because a lot of people don't see a difference between indie and AAA devs. So a lot of these, I feel like a lot of indie devs will end up hurting because of all the frustrations caused by AAA devs. But luckily, we're informed, and we can tell you, the viewer, buy indie games. That's what I think is kind of cool is that's what most of us stream. Like most of the people that are in our group and been on the podcast and stuff, we stream a lot of indie games, and I really like that.
I believe that's because we're gamers with like a capital G. Because we're not the ones that buy like that one video game a year.
Y'all play Warzone? That July the 4th, I met my girlfriend took me to go see fireworks with a group of her like college friends, and the dudes there, she was like, they all play video games. This is like first week we were dating, and this was like right when Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, so I'd been playing that a lot. And the first thing they come up to me is like, hey, we heard you play video games. I was like, yeah, like the cool. And they go, you play Warzone? And I was like, no. And then one guy from the back just goes, do you play anything? I was like, you asked me one thing. You're like, no, he plays 2K. I'm like, no.
Like the people who like play only Warzone, they're not here on Twitch. They don't watch streams. They don't play video games. They play one game to pass the time. It's the sports crew.
Yeah.
Would you call a dude who buys FIFA every year a gamer? No, he's not a gamer. He plays fucking FIFA. Come on, man. But
are you gatekeeping like this?
I am.
Ability to be a gamer.
I am gatekeeping the word gamer right now, full on.
Anti-gamers are the most oppressed.
Because you can like you would never call like the dude who watches like all the Marvel movies is not like a movie enthusiast. But the dude who watches those indie movies and knows something about the movie industry and filmmaking, that's a person you would call a movie enthusiast. I would call myself a gamer because I follow the industry. I play the indie games. I understand the game development on some fucking level. And I play these different games. I'm not the guy who plays only the Call of Duty shooters. That's just a casual. I know everyone listening knows that I'm right now. I might, it's probably not the thing you want to hear, but I am fucking right.
We're supposed to be inclusive, Tom.
Fuck that. I'm so over this PC bullshit.
Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I agree to an extent for sure. I mean, there's a distinct difference between people like us and then the people that do just buy like the FIFA or the Call of Duty once a year.
And that's why those games will never fail.
Yeah,
Because if say we have $250 to spend on a game, you know, like North was telling our budget, we're gonna wait it out, buy a bunch. Some dude's gonna buy FIFA and then $150 worth of packs.
yeah. I mean, he
same
wouldn't.
with 2K.
He wouldn't want to actually play the game to unlock parts. He's
he's not a gamer.
No, he's not a gamer. You got to buy it. I don't want to play EA this game. I don't want to play 2K whatever. I just want to get all the stuff, which will still never make sense to me. Why you would sell the ability to unlock content if your game is that bad? You shouldn't have made it.
It's like gacha games, right? Where they have like Fate Stay Order Grand on your phone, where you just want your one waifu in a bikini, so you pay 20 million loot box, $20 a loot box. Like I have friends that pay $300 for that game so they can get the character of the week or whatever. And same thing with FIFA. Because usually the people that play like FIFA and stuff, they play soccer and basketball and stuff. And
like honestly, I'm not saying that like if you play any game and you enjoy your time, you just enjoy your time. And I don't want to gatekeep the word gamer. I don't give a shit about the word gamer, like truly in my heart of hearts.
But you're right. I mean, at the end of the day, there is a massive difference between gamers like us and gamers that play one game a year. I mean, that's a fact. It's not. I mean, they can be called gamers because they do play games, but there is a major difference.
And like, because I did like the movie comparison. But there's not really a word like gamer for movies, but everyone understands what a movie enthusiast is, or just like a casual moviegoer. Because there's such a difference between, and you can choose any fucking thing and there's a difference. Like everyone listens to music, right? But there's clearly people who are musicians and non-musicians, and people who understand music way more than just I put on the radio and I enjoy the shit.
So, like it's basically those Virgin and Chad memes, is what you're saying.
Yeah. The Virgin Warzone player.
Gamers,
hey man,
and the Chad gamers.
I didn't say it, so
I did. Yep. I'll say it. I had a whole Chad stream. I can say it.
And yeah, like I honestly, like if this podcast were to be like even a little bit bigger than what it is, I mean, I would already receive probably a ton of hate from people just what I just said about gatekeeping the word gamer and how I described the things. But ultimately, like, play whatever you want to play. If you enjoy your time, that's good. The more people who play video games, the better it is for the industry as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, absolutely. Just do whatever makes you happy. It doesn't matter what we think or what anyone else thinks. If you enjoy buying FIFA every single year, buy FIFA every single year. However, I'm a bigger nerd than you. I will make fun of you.
Disclaimer. And I can do it.
I'm a bigger nerd than you.
Yeah, you are getting made fun of. Yeah, easy
for not being nerdy enough. That's the year we're in. 2021. I make fun of people for not being bigger nerds.
And like to circle back to the indie games, I believe like everyone that taps into the indie market taps to the indie market just to experience something different, because the indie market is filled with new experiences, like stuff that you would never see like in the AAA market. Because I believe the AAA market is so narrow. There's so few types of video games in the AAA market. But if you delve like even a little bit into the indie stuff, there's so many unique ideas, there's so many unique visuals, there's so many unique game mechanics. The indie market is so far superior than like to the AAA market that, there's no comparison. I love the indie market. If I choose like the indie market or the AAA market, I would always choose the indie market instead of the AAA market. Anyway,
absolutely. I mean, that's the thing is like anything a AAA studio can do, an indie studio can also do. However, I don't believe the opposite is true. Except for like big MMOs, but like if an indie studio really wanted to make a Call of Duty experience, they could absolutely make a Call of Duty experience. But they don't have a reason to because there's a new Call of Duty every year. But I don't think big AAA game devs would risk making a roguelike where you cry at your enemies and they're made of shit and piss. You know, that's not a game that a AAA dev is going to make. But an indie dev can. An indie dev can also make first-person shooters, World War II first-person shooters, and they can be absolutely amazing. So I mean, in summation, I also choose indie.
Yeah. There's and that's what separates basically gamers with the capital G and gamers with lowercase g. Once those lowercase g boys and girls tap into the indie market, they can upgrade themselves to a capital G.
They can hold down the shift
They've earned
key.
their G card.
Yeah.
They've earned their shift key.
Exactly. Anyway, before we go, one last thing. This is just basically to pay respects, I guess. Jeff Kaplan, the granddaddy of Overwatch, he left Blizzard. And even though I don't play Overwatch anymore, and I certainly don't have any respect for Blizzard or Activision, really, Jeff did a lot for the game. It was Jeff's game.
Yeah. And he was the face of it for a long time. It does suck to see him leave because he was like, you know, the Overwatch updates and stuff. He was always the guy doing that, which I thought it was cool that they didn't have just some handsome person giving us the information. It was actually, you know, from the guy, not a guy, the guy.
Yeah,
I thought that was really awesome. It does suck that Jeff Kaplan left. And he was always like very slightly awkward, and it was very charming the way that he would like trip over his words and stuff. You could tell that some of his stuff was single take, and it was cool.
Yeah, I think like honestly, like Jeff was instrumental for Overwatch. Without Jeff, Overwatch would not exist.
Yeah.
I do say though that his resignation is a little bit Monka-esque probably for anyone waiting for Overwatch 2. He was
thankfully that game is just single player, so they can't really mess up what they already made.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are more just, I mean, in essence, you're right, yeah. But I think people are just generally, because basically what has happened is that the game director of the game has left the company. He's a person in a key position. Anytime when any person in a key position leaves a game project before the game comes out, it just looks bad. Because no one tells us why that person left. But it just looks bad. And because he left before the game come out, like people are speculating that the project will probably be bad or, you know, shit or real shit or...
I know the news just said he retired, right? Quote unquote. I don't know if that, you know, is just what they said to make it not look as bad, or if he's actually just like, I'm tired of this. I've made enough money. I'm gonna go golf.
So the prevailing rumors right now is that he went to that rival company made up of ex-Blizzard employees.
Oh, maybe.
But
I don't know too much into this.
He probably has like a pretty heavy NDA or non-compete like on him. So he probably will not work in the industry for, I don't know, 12 months.
Got it. Is he married though? That is what Google wants to tell me. He is married.
Yeah,
Good for him.
Good for him, yeah. Nice.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he does join another studio pretty soon. I'll be curious to see if he does continue to make things, because I think he's like a long time Blizzard boy. I think he's been there for a while.
16 years, I believe.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
worked for he was instrumental in the World of Warcraft development.
Yeah,
and
That's what I thought. He was big in vanilla.
yeah, and then I believe like they were tasked to Jeff and his team were tasked to like create another MMO that then became Overwatch in the end.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That sucks for Blizzard. They lost another good, and that's very hard to find these days.
Yeah,
Good for
I
him,
think
maybe.
Hopefully, good for him. Hopefully, he did
Yeah.
legitimately retire. I hope that he just gets to continue being a nerd for the rest of his days at home, happy with his wife.
I mean, he definitely has enough money to live peacefully until he dies, probably.
Yeah, Overwatch was big. I know a lot of people don't like it now, but Overwatch was and is still pretty big.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I believe like Jeff is not that old. He might be like close to his 50s, but I think
he's definitely not retirement age. But
yeah, I mean, I believe like if the money part probably holds true. I think he understands that he's made like a good fortune at this point. So I do believe that like if they're being like poaching, or not poaching, but if they're being like courting Jeff to come to this new company with his old buddies to just like kind of make a game like in the olden days, that probably sounds super appealing.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I would fucking jump on that too immediately.
Especially if you're set already. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, if it's like, because I don't remember what the studio is called, but it's mostly made up of like old Blizzard employees. But yeah, I believe like with Jeff's departure, there was also some pretty instrumental dude from the StarCraft 2 team that left like a week before Jeff, I believe. I don't remember his name, but he was more in the competitive scene, like known to the fans and players. I this is just one step closer to Blizzard not being like at all Blizzard anymore.
Yeah.
I think yeah, I mean I would say Blizzard has been dead for a lot of years at this point, but
Well, you watched the BlizzCon, right?
son of a I'll watch every BlizzCon because, you know, I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah,
Blizzard's going down in lava, and then just as they're sinking in the lava, their hand pops up and is holding a mobile phone with Diablo Immortal on it.
It just says now out.
Yeah, Blizzard definitely has to pull more than just a rabbit out of the hat to get out of this slump.
Yeah.
Because like I agree, but at the same time I'm like, you know Diablo 4 is gonna sell like fucking hell.
Regardless how good the game is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like honestly, people played like the Diablo 2 remake thing that they had the beta test or whatever. Fucking everyone loved that too. So you know it's gonna sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll guess we'll have to see.
And I guarantee you that with or without Jeff, Overwatch 2 will also sell like hell.
Can they just change the name? Overwatch 2 is just
Two's misleading, definitely.
we've talked about it so much in the previous podcast, so I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again.
But I mean, I do agree. The marketing has been confusing for that game.
Yeah, marketing doesn't really seem the best this year. Deathloop.
Now, Deathloop is just a confusing game.
That's probably it too. That is the one game I'm playing just because I've made so many jokes about it. Like I'm obligated to play Deathloop at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll fucking check it out once it's out on something.
I'll buy it when it's on sale.
PS5 exclusive.
If you want a fucking sequel, you better buy it a full price.
Too funny.
It's like these forbidden words. I'll buy it on a sale.
Oh,
That's when you get in trouble.
And if I were a pettier dude, I would just link that guy every time I buy something on sale. Be like, look what I got, 50% off, man.
like every time Steam has like one of their like, this is the winter game sale is starting, you just at him like in the replies.
Exactly. Look at all these games I'm not buying at full price. Are they getting sequels?
Because the crazy thing is that, like, I heard this for the first time like a decade ago when I had a coworker who said that he's in like this huge group of people that they wait for a sale, and then they have people in the US that buys the games and they gift them because it's cheaper for EU players. And then they just, PayPal the money to them. And like obviously like back then the Steam sales were fucking crazy with the flash sales and everything.
Flash, yeah. It's nothing like it is now.
Oh yeah.
The Steam sales are garbage comparatively.
Yeah, the kids don't even know.
They really don't. I mean, I remember paying like less than $1 for some badass games. And now you just don't see that.
Yeah, the 4-hour like flash sales were fucking insane. Like you could get games for 95% off, like decent fucking video games.
And then G2A ruined it.
I believe Steam ruined themselves.
Probably.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting, but yeah, I think that's what a lot of people do is they just look for third party key. Because I mean, I know that before I buy a game, I go check Humble Bundle and Green Man Gaming to see if they have sales. I check like 3 or 4 different websites before I buy a game on Steam most of the time.
But yeah, I think that's good, right?
I don't think we missed anything.
I do. Go ahead.
The Josh fight. That
Ooh,
was that. I forgot that happened. That we can talk about that for a minute. That's just a funny meme, and I love that there was hundreds of people that showed up, and half of their names were Josh, and they met up in one location and fought each other.
What was funny is there was it was originally supposed to be Josh Swain's, like just his name, but only one Josh Swain showed up, so they just rock paper scissored.
That's I love that. That's awesome. They had the Josh Swain fight, and then they had the all Josh fight.
Yeah, and little Josh, 4-year-old Josh got it.
I remember seeing like the screen caps of the original DMs like 9-10 months ago, and I was like, haha, this is funny.
Yeah, and what a meme.
Yeah, and when I started, because then I started seeing these like just images of this fight, and like people were saying Josh won, and I'm like, this sounds super familiar. And then when I looked like deeper, I'm like, oh shit, they actually fucking did it.
Yeah, and then there's people on the sidelines with like Team Josh signs.
Yeah,
that was an internet win right there. Like that's Area 51 was how not to do that, and Josh Fight is how to do that.
Yeah,
can we gather up all the Kyles and let them fight with like Monster Energy drink sponsored by?
I mean, I'd pay.
At least when it's like the Area 51, you get killed.
Yeah.
No Josh has died that day.
Yeah.
But it did benefit charity, and it was apparently a children's hospital that the winning Josh had actually went to whenever he had seizures whenever he was 2.
Oh, that's so cool.
That was actually really cool. Yeah. And that was just like a pure coincidence. I don't think they found that out until like way after. Yeah. Not way, but like after it was all said and done, it turned out that he had some seizures like 2 years ago, and that was also the children's hospital he went to. I thought that was really awesome.
Yeah, I think the dad gave like an interview to one of the stations somewhere.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like one of those feel good things.
Legitimately feel good, not manufactured corporate garbage feel good too. That's really
the
good.
Oscars.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. They didn't give us a NFT of little Josh's face and say he won.
Everyone who came here.
I think that's so fucking dirty, like towards Chad Boseman.
Everybody agrees. Yeah, it was. I don't think anybody liked it. It was really bad. And apparently what makes it worse was they had offered an artist to make it, and he said no because obviously it's been poor taste. So they just went to another artist, and apparently that person just took an existing model of his head and put shaders on it. Yeah.
Real good. Real nice.
Yeah.
Real nice.
There's the Josh fight and there's your other spectrum.
Yeah. The best and the worst of us right there.
Yeah, coming up. Next week RE8 on my channel whenever it fucking releases. Also next month, this excites Nort. I know it excites Nort, but the Subnautica Below Zero 1.0 is coming out 14th of May.
And I'm actually on vacation then because I'm getting laid off. So I gotta take my vacations.
Damn,
bro.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna stream Subnautica 2 on my channel.
Yeah, I actually recently hooked my Dreamcast up, and I'm streaming that. I streamed Sonic Adventure last night.
That's such a good game. Ah, I love that
Dude,
game.
I love it too. And then I don't think I had ever been more pissed off on stream until I got to that Viper egg fight, or the egg Viper.
No, I
Dude, I died 15 times. No, God, don't tell them it's too late. Lumen. You know how you jump on the little spinning thing and then you gotta light dash and hit him?
Yeah.
I clipped through him 15 times.
Of course you did. It's Sonic Adventure.
And then just zipped off the side of the stage and died. No, 13. One of them was I went to turn around, he hit me with a laser and it knocked me over the rail and I died. The other time was during the death spiral where he's doing this business and then he smashes it. Yeah, he went to do this and I light dashed out of the way and I clipped through the edge of this platform that I was trying to get on and fell and died. So yeah, I only died 13 times to clipping through him.
That game has a special play. I think I was like probably 4 when I got it on GameCube and beat it 20 million times. So
yeah, I've beaten it quite a few times too, but I don't remember getting that frustrated whenever I was little. It was bad, dude. I threw down my controller, hit myself in the junk. It was a bad time. Like at one point, I was trying to hide it so bad, but I just went like this and went and started slamming. I was like, "This is fucking stupid," and then I was just like, "Oh God, that hurt."
I regret this immediately.
Yeah, it was bad.
I've been streaming La Mulana 2, and I will not be continuing that, unfortunately, because it is by far the hardest game I have ever played. No more. And it's to explain why the core issue that I have with the game is not bad in any way. It works fine. But it's very, very fucking difficult because of its puzzles. I have been reading hints how to solve puzzles in the game without realizing that I'm reading hints for puzzles. I'm basically saying that I'm too stupid for the game.
It's fine. That's like 5D chess. If I ever play that game, I'm like,
yeah. I'll probably try it at some point. I like punishment. I like to be angry.
yeah.
Because then I went on the wiki and read a little bit what the fuck to do. And that's when it kind of dawned on me. I'm like, yep. Some of this shit? No way, motherfucker.
I finally got my Wii set up looking stellar as 480p the Wii looks. I set it up once, looked doo-doo. Rosa was there when I did this. That was terrible. It looks stellar now. So we are playing legitimate Wii Sports whenever I stream. And I was gonna stream because I love Nier, and the Nier Replicant came out on Thursday. No, Thursday. It came out on Friday, I think, last Friday, and then I had strep. So today's the first day I'm out of bed and actually doing something, which is why if anyone saw me going, you know,
he's not dabbing, he's coughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, Tom's coming. I'm back. Yeah, no. But I guess stream wise for me is Nier and Wii games when I get tired of crying.
I actually I watched a Ocarina of Time speedrunner that actually had like exclamation point dab because so many people would say he was dabbing because he would sneeze and cough into his elbow. So he just made a command for his chat, and anytime someone asked, "Why'd you just dab?" one of his mods would run it like, "I'm not dabbing, I'm coughing into my elbow. It's more hygienic." And so he even has like an emote that's dab, and it's him coughing.
That's great.
Way to embrace it. I love that.
Yeah. It wasn't annoying. He was a super good sport about it. It was really funny. But
Yeah.
that's all I got.
We have a YouTube channel.
Oh
yeah.
yes, we do.
Yes.
Yep.
Finally. Again, this is just repeating from the last podcast episode. If you are subscribed to only one YouTube channel, you are subscribed then to the old one.
And we will make fun of you.
Lowercase gamer is what you are if you're not subscribed to the new one.
Subscribe to the new one.
No, just the new one, Gorby.
If you are
can
subscribed to the old one, unsubscribe. There will never be another video on that channel. But the one that is in chat is the right one.
Oh, isn't that the wrong one?
Is it?
Is the wrong one? I don't.
It's the fucking wrong one. Yeah.
No. Well, do I have
The one
news
in our-
for you? We own a website.
The button that says YouTube in the thing, it's directly below me, like over there. It's or over there. That button does go to the right one. I have tested that. That our YouTube button does correctly go to the right one.
So now I'm just curious, like, okay, but the bot, like, the automated message the bot puts out is the right channel.
That's so weird.
My command is wrong.
Oh.
So
Oh,
that
okay.
Missed it.
yeah, so that link is to the new one.
Yeah, I think you do, Akillastar. That's a good, like Trev was saying, we do have a website. You can go to pantslesspodcast.com and it'll take you there.
Yes, that too. That would probably be the easiest.
Yeah, pantslesspodcast.com.
Thanks
I'm
for
gonna-
our good
yeah, I'm
friend.
gonna-
We don't have merch.
We don't have merch now.
We will.
Our merch is
Nah.
your lack of pants. Take off your
Yes.
pants, you're wearing our merch.
We have anti-merch.
Anti-merch.
Take your clothes off.
Yeah.
If
It's-
you
it's
if you
like-
want merch, buy my merch at full fucking price.
If you want merch, subscribe to the channel for full price.
Yeah, fuckers.
Oh man.
All right, we're done, right?
Yeah, we should be done.
Cool.
Yeah,
Go subscribe to the YouTube channel.
yes, do subscribe to the YouTube channel. We upload every episode there. If you're watching this on YouTube, congratulations, you're on the right place.
Congratulations.
Go to
The
Twitch.
last 5 minutes of what we talked about probably didn't make much sense to you.
Probably not. If you're
But if you're watching
only,
this,
yeah, if you're only
on
watching on YouTube, don't come to Twitch, motherfucker. It's better here. Which,
I love how we are plugging our YouTube channel to the people on Twitch, and then we're like, but if you watch the YouTube, come to Twitch, where we
Yeah.
plug the YouTube channel.
yeah.
Where we talk about shit about Twitch.
yeah, we go if you're on YouTube and Twitch, we talk shit about both of you, so it's fine. You can't ban us because we're also doing it to the other guy. So
Yeah.
If you want to hear all of the gossip, you've got to go to both sides.
exactly. This is actually an exclusive YouTube only video, unless you're watching our VOD on Twitch, in which case this is an exclusive only Twitch VOD. So you need to go and subscribe to our YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, you need to go to subscribe to our Twitch. They won't know. They're not gonna check.
They're dumb.
And by the time they check, it's too late. They're already there. Just subscribe.
Exactly. We'll be back next month. It'll be the 12th. And yeah.
I'm
I'll-
most likely gonna be there.
Yes.
Well,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have North back.
You
Nice.
get to see
Return of
all
the
this
King.
again. You get
Mm.
to see this again.
I'll probably talk about Ari Village and
Pokemon Snap. That comes out in 2 days. I
Ooh,
just
yeah.
I had an epiphany. I
What?
forgot about that.
Pokemon.
I
Snap.
am I'm gonna drown in that game.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy that as well.
yeah, it got like 10 out of 10 reviews across the board almost.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Smile and wave time.
smile and wave. See you on YouTube or Twitch or both. I don't know.
preferably both.
Goodbye.